Wells Fargo is the biggest bank in the United States. It services around 70 million people worldwide and provides loans for thousands more. That's why it came as a surprise when news came out that Wells Fargo was under investigation regarding fake accounts that they had set up on behalf of their customers without their knowledge. This has been going on for the past 5 years and has only been revealed as late as September 8th of this year. Now, what was going on is their employees were setting up accounts, deposit accounts, credit card accounts, any type of service that Wells Fargo offered, and they were fake. Customers weren't asking about them and didn't want them. They were doing it on their behalf, even making up PIN numbers and transferring funds between accounts. Now, this created a serious problem when some accounts resulted in insufficient funds because of the transfer, and customers were charged even more. Now, the reason they were doing this had to do with a strict sales technique that had been implemented in the company years before. The mantra for CEO John Stumpf was actually 8 is great, meaning that 8 Wells Fargo services for each customer is what they were striving for. Now, this gave steep incentives for employees to try to sell these services as fast as they could because they received bonuses. Now, it resulted in fake accounts. The reason they wanted to meet their sales goals, on top of that, was to satisfy their investors. They wanted their financial statements to continue looking pretty, to keep their stock price up, to keep their investors happy. After this all came out, the outcome was really harsh for Wells Fargo. It began with punishment coming from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, a government agency designed to protect consumers in situations like this. They were fined $185 million straight up, plus around $5 million had to be reimbursed to customers who had lost that much money. They had to get rid of that sales technique. Obviously, public reputation dropped way down, and their stock price also dropped around 10%. The really bad news came for their CEO, John Stumpf. He had to forego a big chunk of his salary, and on October 12th, he actually resigned as CEO because of pressure from senators and the public in what an unethical thing he had actually been overseeing at Wells Fargo. This resulted in sort of a lesson in how leadership can trickle down to the employees. The model that the leadership had implemented there at Wells Fargo went into the minds of all the employees. They realized that all they had to do was sell no matter how. Even if they weren't even selling, they were faking, and they were going to get their paycheck. These steep incentives made for a real unethical environment where it was money over everything. And it's really shown how financial regulation in the past decade has been forced to really increase its scope and its duties.